I'm so pleased today to introduce my friend John Horgan. John has been looking out for our families and communities throughout this pandemic. He understands what people are going through right now. He knows people are worried about their loved ones and their livelihoods, and he has a plan to get people through the pandemic and build an economic recovery that includes everyone. Here in Surrey, the choice in this election could not be clearer. Andrew Wilkinson literally sold us out. He sold off the land right in front of us to the right over there at a discount to a BC Liberal donor, even after the BC Liberals promised to build a hospital there. If given the opportunity, he would do it again. Even now, he refuses to commit to the project. That is a risk we cannot afford to take, especially right now when healthcare is so critical to a strong recovery. John Horgan is different. We can trust him to build on the progress we've made to improve care and keep people healthy. When he says he'll build a second hospital in Surrey, we know he will get the job done. With John and our team, we will keep BC moving forward, not for those at the top, but for all of us. Now, ladies and gentlemen, John Horgan.
Thanks, Jenny, and thanks, everyone. It's great to be back in Surrey on the traditional territory of the Coast Salish people. I want to firstly thank Greg, the owner of Kick It Karate, for letting us come inside out of the rain today. I really appreciate it. As a small business person, I know the challenges that he's facing during this pandemic, and we're working as hard as we can to make sure, as our recovery plan last week, $1.6 billion, make sure we're putting money into the hands of people, businesses, and communities so we can get through this most challenging of times. I want to thank my team for being here today, my colleagues from the legislature, Roshna Singh, Harry Baines, Bruce Ralston, Jenny Sims for introducing me, Jagrup Brar, the chair of our caucus, Gary Begg, the whip of our caucus, and new candidate in Cloverdale, the home of the new second hospital in Surrey, Mike Sarchuk. So thanks for being here, Mike, and the rest of the team. I want to particularly thank Jenny for introducing me today. She is, of course, a former member of Parliament, a member of my cabinet, member of my caucus, and a proud Surrey resident fighting all the time to make life better for her community. As with all of my colleagues, we've been focused over the past 3 years on making life better for British Columbians. Unlike the former government, which put tolls on the bridges coming into Surrey, the bridge coming into Surrey, the only toll that remained outside of the Golden Ears Bridge in Maple Ridge, the only toll for people in British Columbia was put on the people of Surrey by the BC Liberals. So our first order of business was to eliminate those tolls when we formed a government to make life a little bit more affordable for British Columbians. Another legacy of the BC Liberal government, of course, was medical services premiums. The BC Liberals liked medical services premiums so much that they raised them year after year after year. In fact, they doubled MSP premiums by the end of their term in office. And what did we do when we formed government? We eliminated medical services premiums, the largest middle-class tax cut in BC history. Those are just two examples of the differences between the NDP approach and the BC Liberal approach to the people of Surrey. The choice in this election is clear. We can go back to the days of government that's focused on the wealthy and the well-connected, or we can continue on the path that we have set to focus on people and their needs, whether it be education, healthcare, transportation, and other initiatives like that that focus on making life better and more affordable for people. A lot of people have asked me over the past couple of days, why now? Why are we having an election now? You've only been in government for 3 years. Well, I'll remind everyone that it's been 3.5 years since the last election, and we have been in a minority situation where at any time the government could have fallen at the whims of a handful of members of the legislature. Not a majority view, but the whims of just a few. I don't believe that's the type of stability we need to get us through this most challenging of times. No one expected at the start of 2020 that we would be in the midst of a global pandemic. And I want to assure everybody that we are doing everything we can to keep people safe and return to the economic prosperity that we saw here in British Columbia just a few short months ago. But the challenges before us are grave. They're very important, and we need to make sure that we have stability to address them. I don't believe that it's that we could keep doing the politics that we've seen over the past few months for another year. I think we need to put the politics behind us. Let's have an election. Let's ask the people what they want to do and where they want to go, and more importantly, who do they want to lead them? My team here in Surrey, or a team of people who will go back to the days where it was all about making sure that the wealthy had what they needed and the people of Surrey and the people of British Columbia paid for the rest of it. That's not how we roll, and that's not how we want to go over the next 4 weeks of this campaign. I want to talk a little bit today about Mr. Wilkinson's visit to Surrey yesterday. He had some very unkind things to say about my team assembled here, and I want to stand as part of the defense of our efforts. I've mentioned the elimination of tolls. I've mentioned the elimination of medical services premiums. I want to talk about the delivery of health care, fundamental to who we are as Canadians. Public health care defines us as Canadians, defines us as British Columbians. And what we've done since we formed government was we put in place not one, but 2 urgent primary care centres. I spoke about these yesterday in North Vancouver. Urgent primary care centres take the pressure off of our emergency rooms, particularly the emergency room at Surrey Memorial, so that people can get the services, the care they need, not just from a doctor, but from perhaps a nurse practitioner or a therapist, a physiotherapist, or a social worker, or a registered nurse. We need to make sure that we're providing services for people. The old way of going to your doctor, the Liberals said they were going to have a doctor for everyone. Failure number 26 for the BC Liberals. We put in place a plan to connect people to the care that they need. And when it comes to Surrey Second Hospital, I'm proud that the former government, the former NDP government, going back some 3 decades, had the foresight to purchase land, as Ginny said, just outside this door, just outside Kickit Karate's door. The former government bought the land to prepare for the future, had the vision to say, this is the fast-growing part of British Columbia, now the fastest-growing part of British Columbia. They're going to need more health care in this community. The best way to prepare for that is to buy the land, so when the hospital is needed, it can be built. So what did the BC Liberals do with that vision, with that legacy of focusing on public health care? They sold the silverware to balance their budget. They increased your taxes, they increased MSP premiums, they put tolls in place, and they sold the silverware, and in this case, as Ginny said, for $3 million less than the assessed value to a former donor. That's not working for you, that's working for the wealthy and the well-connected. We put an end to that in 2017, and I'm asking for your support to continue forward for the next 4 years to build the strong, dynamic communities that all of us want to be part of. So what have we done about a second hospital in Surrey? Well, we put in place a concept plan early in our mandate to make sure that we got all of the issues correct and focused on the needs of the community. We assembled land in Surrey Cloverdale, where Mike Starstruck is running for the NDP. So we bought the land, we put in place the concept plan, and then we started the hard work on the business plan. And during that planning, just in 18 short months, we discovered that what we really needed to do is make a bigger hospital that included a cancer clinic for the people of Surrey. So they didn't have to travel into Vancouver, didn't have to travel to other parts of British Columbia. They were getting the services they need right here in this dynamic, fast-growing community. So let's just check for the record. What did Andrew Wilkinson do? Sold the land and issued press releases. What did this group of Surrey MLAs do? They worked hard, they listened to their community, and they put in place a concept plan for a new hospital. Then they found the land for that new hospital. Then they started the business plan for that new hospital, and then they added a cancer clinic, and the money is in the budget, Budget 2020. This is not about promises, this is about delivery, and that's what we've been doing in Surrey for the past 3 years, and with your support, we'll continue to do that for the next 4 years. I'm so proud of my team here and the addition of Mike and others to put forward the ideas and the values of regular people. Not those that have done very, very well, thank you very much, but for those who struggle every day to put food on the table, to meet their rent or pay their mortgages. Regular people. That's what government should focus on. That's what a John Horgan government will do. Give me your support. Thank you for hearing me out today. I'm happy to take any questions you may have.